Good morning. This is James. It's time to mess some stuff up. This is going to be a quick video. Maybe not. Probably longer. I'll probably walk you through a few things that I'm doing just in case there's people out there that want to try and do something stupid and make something that's well beyond their capacity and ability to knowledge to make. That's how I learn. I jump into things. I pick the hardest freaking thing to do and try and do that. So I may have shown you some of this. I'll start from the beginning and go just an outline of the structure. But it's my lathe. It's my metal lathe. I'm chasing zeros right now, and for all you machinists, you know somebody who's never used a lathe, never worked in a machine shop, never fabricated. Chasing zeros is pretty much a lesson in insanity. So here we go. This is what I got so far. Enjoy. So my beam had a 10-footer, cut it up into, or maybe I had a 12-footer actually, cut it up into 4 3-foot sections, and welded those two things together. Just welded on either side. And I also put bolts on the inside. I don't know why. I just wanted to make sure that these things were absolutely stable. So then I put a couple support beams. These are 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch square tube, 1/8 inch wall, and I just wanted to do that support directly underneath the motor. So this is the motor, or the motor's actually a treadmill motor. It's a 1.5 horsepower. I have a stainless steel bar. I cut these holes so I could use different motors if I needed to. Basically, the motor plate sits on a bar through a couple of tabs, and I can show you it. But that way I can put that in, and I can raise and lower the motor. So I raise it up, throw the belt on, and then lower it. Right, got a couple of adjustment plates back there. Compound slide. I wanted to get as much height and room because I figured it's easier to get smaller than it is to get bigger. So this is some angle iron I had. I made a box out of it. So that's a very solid base right there. Then a 1/2 inch flat plate for my rotation. I needed risers because I had this up a little high. So these are 1 inch blocks that I just cut in 2 inch sections, welded them on top, and then a flat plate. In that flat plate, what I have is angle irons that I welded down. This is a 3/4 inch rod, and these are angle irons here that fit on this plate. So this plate slides across. They're actually welded onto these. My hands are in the way. They're welded onto these angle irons that ride on top of these angle irons, and they slide back and forth, right? With this handle. So I can show you that, but I don't know. The camera's not going to catch that too well, but it's a pretty smooth ride. What helps a great deal, and these are adjustment bars. I have a couple of metal pieces that I have on either side. So just on the outsides here, I can't get too far away, but on the outsides here, and then I have 4 screws on either side, so I can kind of adjust that plate and keep tension so this doesn't wobble. One thing that keeps all of this very smooth is, obviously this is just whey oil. This is the standard stuff. It's just factory oil too, whey oil. So I picked up a couple of bottles of that, and it makes a very, very big difference when you're actually trying to slide that carriage along this bed here. The whey oil stops from like galling and scratching and everything else and locking up, and it'll run smooth even when there's like tight spots and stuff. So not bad. This indicator is showing me that I got quite a bit of run out though. And at this point, what I'm going to be doing is when I turn this on and then jiggle the back of that spindle, I get about 2/1000 of a shift. So what I'm going to do is put a couple plates here, plate on the inside with a couple screws, so I can make some adjustment plates, and that way I can push that forward and lock it in. These obviously lock it down. I thought that was going to be enough pressure, but if I pull on it, it does wiggle just a slight bit. So the problem is that every single tiny thing that you have here that can cause, like, you'll have, if this is the carriage, right? This is yaw, right? This is going to be pitch, and then you're going to have roll. So you have to stop all of that. So you have to stop movement while you're trying to allow it to move smoothly, which that is much harder than I actually thought, especially since I'm using hand tools basically. I don't have precision machining equipment here, so it's nearly impossible. But I don't have to get it phenomenal. I just have to get it close, because this freaking lathe won't be able to build, and it already started to shape parts for itself, right? I can show you that. Well, I can't really show you, but so when I was using the indicator that measures to 1/1000th of an inch, and I was checking the faceplate of this spindle, or the face, I used a 2.5 inch outside diameter tube with 1/8 inch wall. I wanted a bigger a hole so I could feed things through it this way, because I won't have much room this way. And this is probably about 3 feet. It's a 4-foot total bed, but I got about 3 feet of travel maybe, and I wanted to be able to feed stuff through that. So that's where I'm at. But when I started moving it back, like I said, I started getting a little bit of a shift. So I want to put a couple of plates here, like I was saying, and then so I have a set screw here, or just a hex screw, and I can push another plate into it. I'll show you some of that though. All right, here goes nothing. Hopefully that'll fix some of the run out that I'm having.